Hi, this is Tom. Welcome to my channel. I thought I'd go through some workflows that I'm using for AI uh, these days. So there's three or four. I'm trying to remember how many. We'll see how many I get through. Um, so I guess there's three main ones that come to mind. So one is inference apps. So inference apps, as I think of it, are apps that have an AI brain inside. So this one is an explorer where you can put in a subject and then explore it. Like I've got NYC neighborhoods and Greenwich Village it's looking at. And then you can go through and it'll give information about whatever you want to look at. A couple of neat things about it are the light bulb or suggestions by the AI. So you can I put in NYC in instead of neighborhoods, I could put landmarks, museums, neighborhoods, whatever. So you can put it whatever you want, but it kind of helps you think about like what you might want to do. There's different ways you can do the lists. I almost always just do the default one, but for some things I thought it might be kind of cool to have like a top 10 or top 3 or 5 or comprehensive too. Although I mean it gives you quite a lot anyway, but if you wanted to get like for example, if I put in World War II comprehensive, I get like a lot of neat ideas about how to explore it. And then use whatever you choose as the categories to fill in. So I put in neighborhoods. So then the list here will be the neighborhoods of New York City. And then you can do explore, select it as a new topic. So if I click that, it would put Greenwich Village here, and then I could, uh, dig into that at final level. And another neat thing that it has different voices. So I've got the general one here. And then for biography, if I click on biography, um, it has a different persona. And so if I choose a person, and I'll just skip the focus and go straight to the list. And then when I do the choose a cat, okay, I'll do Civil War leadership. And here it's populating the results. And you can see it's quite quick. This is a good model. This is using, so it's both very quick and gets information, live information. You can see this has different buttons here. So each of these has a different persona um, for whichever kind of area you're looking at. It's very neat the way the AI is nowadays. It can do really sophisticated prompts, like even inside the web apps. So I'll show another example of that. It's let me find it here. So this one, I'm on this one. This one. I can't be on both of them. Here we are. Oh, here we are. Okay, good. So this is this. Sorry about that. I have two browsers. Maybe it's this one. That's it. I keep not getting. There we are. Sorry about that. All right. So this is what I wanted to show here. So this is another example of an AI brain inside. So the AI brain is constructing prompts. This is looking at World War II, and I won't go into detail here, but it's a it's, I'll tell you something that is cool about this thing. I just gave it a general prompt and it built this whole thing out. And like, there's stuff in here I didn't even know about. I had to actually research with the AI about like how the app that it builds works. Like for example, uh, it has. I'm not seeing it. Here it is, right? So I didn't even know it was doing this. It actually saved the previous queries that I did. So if I click on one of these, it pulls up a previous query that I did, so it doesn't have to redo the prompt. Saving all that in the browser. And it has a quiz feature, and it just has a lot of functionality that I didn't even ask for. It's pretty neat. One of the things I like, you can click on a button and it'll do a new question here. And you saw how quick that is? It's really, really quick. And anyway, very, very neat. And then another one here on a sophisticated prompt is this has 5 different ways of looking through the data. I researched this from a deep research query to see kind of different ways of slicing and dicing data. And it came up with this persona idea where it's got about 8 different personas. And then you have different, this is on AI. This one is built on a knowledge base. So I gave it a knowledge base that I built up from NotebookLM. And it built this thing. There's like 200 different possible prompts that it can build based on different combinations. And that's just on this one way of looking at this. So it constructs these prompts, and then the AI brain inside runs a prompt and then comes up with the results. And the results are looking at it's basically doing predictions based on different persona. So this would be someone living in 2015, looking at that point in time, what they would have expected. And here's got Chinese AI leadership, a regulatory official. Here it's guessing what things will look like in 2050, looking back. So a pretty neat concept. Then I'll show some other ones just real quick. I'm not going to go through them, but just show the apps. So these all have AI brains in them. So this, when you put in a slang like dough for money, and then it'll show you all the different ways and different time periods that the different time periods would have called that. Here for the Daily Chronicle, this is like a newspaper, and the AI came up with the look and feel for this. That was pretty neat. You put in like a year or a date, like yesterday's date, and it comes up with things that happen on that day, people that were born on the date, different things that are happening. You put in a year and then put the same thing in, do things that happen on the year. Then this one, Infinite Trivia, it came up with the name. I gave it the interface. I like this look and feel. And there's different color schemes that you can use, that you can click through. So this one, I came up with the UI for this and the basic concept, but it came up with the name and also the categories. So the way it works is you click on a light bulb and it'll give you different categories that you can pick. And then you can do, it'll do like 5 questions. You can do like this different sorts of trivia. And you can come up with your own category. That's the cool thing about using the AI brain inside the app. You can do whatever you want. It gives you tremendous flexibility. And then you can set how difficult you want the questions to be. And within the major category, it'll give you ideas for drilling into it. So pretty neat little app. This one I liked a lot. This one was my idea, which is the way that this one works is it will give you 4 kind of facts that are unusual. And 3 of them will be legitimate and 1 of them will be fake. So that's and you have to figure out which is the fake one. So that's the concept of this one. So this is one thing I've been working on, which are different inference apps. Again, with the AI brain inside. Different ways of leveraging that. And if anyone is interested, drop a comment and I'll show how to build these apps. So that's one thing I wanted to share. A second thing is from NotebookLM. So do I have one open? I'm looking for NotebookLM. Here, I got this one open. Okay. So here, this is a book that I'm going through the chapters. And then for each chapter, I just copy and paste the chapter, use it as a source, and then click on the video overview and it builds videos. So each of these videos are about 5 minutes long, 5 to 7 minutes long, and they're really well done. And I just amazed at how good these videos are. They're basically slideshows with narration, with animated, the animated slides, I guess you could say. Um, so they're a slide deck with animation, they're really well done. The insights it comes up with are really cool. And the way that I do it, I'll just mention one last thing, is what I found. There's two things that work well, I'll mention, but the one that I mostly use is I found what works really well is to just pick one item. So whatever like big thing you're looking at, slice it into little pieces. So a book works really well because you can just go chapter by chapter. But I'll just do like one chapter at a time, or one item at a time. Um, rather than a bunch of them. So I find that works well. For the source information, I just included some biographical information. So I'll just like pick one, and then whichever chapter I'm working on, and I click on video overview, and now it's going to create the video. And this takes maybe 10 minutes. I mean, it takes a while for it to do, but it runs on a separate threads, so I don't have to worry about it. I'll just come back to this later and I'll have a new video. So that's another workflow I've been working on. Now, the one time that I do find that you could include all of them is if I included all of them here. So this is all the chapters I have in the book, and I'm going to do a video overview. If I click on the pencil, then I can give it a specific prompt here, and in the prompt I could give it a major theme to look at throughout the entire book, and that I find works quite well. But you want to limit it in some way. Like if I just give it the whole book, I mean, even that is pretty good, but the problem is if you got like a 500-page book and you get a 5-minute video, it's just going to be such a small piece. But if you can limit the scope of what you're looking at, like for a major theme throughout the book, that works really well. What I found that does not work well, something that I tried, is if I give it a bunch of different people to look at like their points of view on some item, even if I tell it in the specific prompt to like specify some specific person, I find it has trouble with that, and it will bring in the other people. So that's why I'm using as my major way of working with this, just choosing one specific source and have it build a video on that. And I find that works excellently. And I'd say that's probably the main thing that I'm using AI for now. And then the third thing that I use it for is teaching. So, for example, I'm interested in real analysis, which is a field of advanced mathematics. So this is something I studied a long time ago, and I was interested in restudying it. So I've been using ChatGPT, which I understand is like a really, really good math model. And I found that to be the case. It's just really, really precise. And like I'll give it proofs to do, and it will correct the proofs. And it is really, really neat because you have like, when I was in school, I couldn't do this. I couldn't be bugging the professor all the time to like make sure that they do the homework, but they do really quick. But with the AI, you can go in as much detail as you want to really learn whatever concepts that you're interested in. So you can, I think this is, an underutilized tool for AI, that it is really, really good at teaching you material just as a tutor. So I highly recommend that. And then one last thing that I'll mention that I found really helpful is I have a problem with getting too many browser tabs open. And you can organize it with the browser itself, but I found that using the AI for myself works better. So I have this parking lot here, and the parking lot, I just have the browsers that I'm working on. So I'm not going to close this one because I gave it the prompt to do it, but I can close, I can close the different browsers, the browser tabs, and I don't have to worry about losing stuff. Like I use these to keep track of, what I'm doing. But since I have these in the parking lot, I can just close these things and I don't have to worry about that. So that's pretty neat. Well, those are the things I wanted to share. And to build it, I just tell it what I want to do, basically, and then give it the names of the URLs in the tab, and it just builds it builds the app for you. I didn't ask for this. It's very neat. I can filter like if I put in Google, then it should bring up the Google Docs, or maybe I'll just put in Docs. And then this is the one that I closed. I can reopen it. So this is a really cool way to manage the browsers and keep the memory on your computer down. So those are 4 ideas on using AI, things that I've been using quite frequently, and hope you found that helpful. And if you want any more information on any of the things I shall just ask, thanks for watching. Until next time.